It is the News Blitz with Randy Wang on Talk Radio 790 KABC. We're here every single day from 5 to 6 talking about the local issues that matter to you most and taking your phone calls at 800-222-5222, 1-800-222-5222, your emails at randywangradio@gmail.com. Search for the KABC News Blitz wherever you get your podcasts. And give me a follow on YouTube. Go to youtube.com/@RandyWangRadio. It's Friday. It's the first Friday of the full-on holiday season. We're just a few weeks away. The end of the year is here. Nothing else is getting done this year. But I am super excited because we are kicking off the first holiday weekend in style. We are about to have our very close friends over, and we're doing our big first holiday meal of the season. And when it comes to this time of year, it's cold. You want something warm, something that's comforting, something that's going to stick to your ribs. And we are doing it right. We're doing a braised short rib dinner. Now, my wife has been working on this since about 2 o'clock, so that's kind of awesome. But she sears up short ribs that you can get from any grocery store. We got these ones from Lazy Acres in Los Feliz. We really love that store, and we can Instacart from there. And then she sautés up carrots and onions and celery and throws back in those browned short ribs. You put in tomato paste and garlic and thyme and beef bone broth. Then you pour in a bottle of wine. We have a lot of wine in this house, and there's usually wine that's been sitting around for probably a little too long that we keep as our sacrificial lambs. You pour the wine in there. You put your dish in the oven, covered to sit and braise for hours and hours and hours. These short ribs have been braising for 3 hours, which means when I came home at 4 o'clock, the house smelled like heaven. So I'm really, really, really excited about that. Now, we don't just put wine in the dish, we also serve with wine. We'll be serving 2 great Cabernets that we have gotten from up and down the state. We will be featuring a Dow 2021 Estate Cab. Dow, of course, in Paso Robles. You can see them at a lot of grocery stores, but they're more high-end ones. You have to go to a high-end liquor store. Go to that property. Dow Mountain is so much fun. And we're also going to be featuring a cab from Silvestri Vineyard in the Monterey Carmel region. Silvestri, actually named after the composer, Alan Silvestri, he made a winery on his property, and the wine's pretty darn good. And you go to the tasting room in Carmel, and you will see all kinds of posters from movies he's done, and they'll play soundtracks of movies he's done, like Back to the Future. It's a good time, and it's right there in the middle of downtown in Carmel by the Sea, one of the most beautiful places. So we'll be doing a little matchup with a Central Paso wine going up against a Monterey wine. If we need a third one, we have on standby a Section Wines 2020 cab from our friend Marco Lucchesi. He is the Italian guy that makes the best Italian varietals in Santa Barbara County. He's got a tasting room in Buellton, and he's incredible. So that's the backup wine if we need it. But we're going to try to be good. For 4 of us, 2 bottles of wine? Who are we kidding? That third bottle's probably going to get opened. You know what? It's okay. If I mentioned I've been off of my diet program now for 2 weeks. I mean, we're still eating fairly healthy because we usually do, but we're not doing the things that we're usually doing on that program because we accomplished our goals. We got to where we wanted to be, but I'm still losing weight. So that's interesting. So if I backslide a pound or 2 this weekend, I'm sure it will come right back and it'll go right back down. But braised short rib night. Now, usually we do braised short ribs over mashed potatoes, but we're trying to be a little healthier. So we are doing braised short rib over cauliflower mash, just to make it a little healthier. Because cauliflower is so versatile. I'm obsessed with cauliflower rice, but cauliflower mash if you get the right consistency, and I will admit it, I was like, I'm going to try this in the Instapot. And I think I put too much liquid in there because when I opened it, it was like cauliflower gravy. Smells really good, but I have it now simmering on the stove, and hopefully in an hour, it will be a lot more thick than it is right now. If not, I have a backup head that I can use, but typically we do use mashed potatoes, but again, trying to be a little healthier, a little lighter, because some of us have what we call a potato demon. And the potato demon is hard to control. And then, you got to have one green on the plate, so we're doing French green beans. I literally forgot to buy them, so right before the show, I had to go run to Ralph's and pick up a bag, but good to go. And those just saute in the oven. It's going to be a lovely meal. And I'm in a really weird headspace right now because I am very excited about the next couple of weeks. I have things that I'm going to tell you about that I am just every single day, it's getting more real. But also, I am 49 minutes away from finding out if I have to go to jury duty. I am finally being selected for jury duty in Los Angeles County, and I have to check in today at 6 p.m. to find out if I get to go to Culver City on Monday or if I have to go to a courtroom on Monday morning. So little angsty about that. We'll see what happens there. But you know what? I'm not going to let that bother me. I'll check in, and what happens will happen. Here's what I'm excited about, and here's what we're going to talk about today. I have told you that my wife and I finally pulled the trigger on a trip to Europe this winter. It is happening. We have been talking about doing a trip like this for 5 years. This is the kind of trip we thought we would take on our honeymoon, but we got married during COVID, so that was not going to happen. And then schedules and job changes, it just never seemed to come together. But this year, our schedules matched up. We have been accumulating so many points from all our different credit card programs that we figured out, even though we're trying to be frugal, and even though we're trying to save money, if we can pay for all of the lodging on points and all of the flights minus taxes on points, then we're just paying for food and drink, and we're going to pay for that anywhere. And the occasional excursion or two. But, if we're not paying for the hotels and we're not paying for the flights, that's a huge deal. So I told you previously, I had alerts set up on a whole bunch of different apps. One of the ones that I use is Seats.aero, A-E-R-O. And that is an aggregate that will tell you what flights are available for economy, for business class, one way going from, and you can just select like LAX to Europe. And in fact, that's what I did. Because the whole idea was, well, whatever gets us there the easiest, great. And then we'll hop around to a couple different countries. So the alert came up. There was a deal that popped up, and it popped up way earlier than I thought it would, because I thought all of these would pop up after Thanksgiving. And we are flying LAX to Dublin, and we're going to be spending 3 days in Ireland. I've told you about that. At that point, when we did that show, and I got some great suggestions, some of them we're going to definitely try to do. We're only there for 3 days, but if not, we'll get to it next time. But I'm super excited about Ireland. We've been watching all kinds of videos. I think we're going to be booking a tour of pubs and music, and that just sounds like a good time. My Instagram feed is being taken over with all of, even though I live in Los Angeles, every other thing on my Instagram is some kind of Dublin pub or some kind of Dublin event or Dublin Christmas market. I got advertised yesterday like the oldest pub in Dublin, and it looks so much fun. And they've got this seafood chowder, and it's gluten-free. So that's exciting. So we are spending our 3 days in Dublin. But at that point, we didn't know what the other legs of the trip were going to be. We hadn't finalized all the flights, and none of this was real until we were able to book the flight home. Like, everything on points is cancelable. So the idea was, okay, book what's available, and then we'll wait to see if something comes up. So we booked our second leg, which I will reveal to you momentarily. We booked our potential third leg, but the third leg could always change because the third leg mostly matters where you're going to get home. And we were either going to fly back to LA or fly to Dallas and spend a couple of days with my wife's family. Nothing popped up for the longest time. I was actually starting to get a little nervous because I only have so many different programs. My ideal program that I wanted to use was my multiple hundreds, thousands of Alaska miles, because when Alaska was still with Hawaiian, I transferred a ridiculous amount of Amex points to that because I knew that was going away. And then I opened an Alaska card and I got a whole bunch of points through that. And my wife opened the new Alaska card, the Atmos card that gives you 3x points on international purchases. So she's got a whole bunch of Alaska points. But while the seats to Dublin got released to Alaska, who's a One World partner, none of the other seats for any of these other flights got released. Or if you're talking about intra-Europe, it almost made sense to pay for that cash than it was to pay for the points because the cash value was nothing. Gosh, I'm so jealous. If you're in Europe, going from country to country is so easy. By train, by plane, it's just doable. By channel. So we finally saw an availability around Thanksgiving that would be perfect for us if we were willing to shave 12 hours off of our ideal trip, which meant that instead of flying out at noon, we'd be flying back to the United States at midnight. But it was a great deal on business class seats, so we're going to sleep on the plane back from Europe. I'm not going to tell you what the third country is today. I'm going to tell you today what the second country is, because I know almost nothing about this country outside of the fact that it looks beautiful and looks super fun this time of year. And I know there's a lot of world travelers out there. So I'm going to need your advice and I'm going to need your recommendations, because the second leg of my big European adventure is I am flying from Dublin to Amsterdam. I will be spending 3 days in Amsterdam. Through my Chase Ultimate Rewards, I was able to book all on points a hotel stay at a very fancy hotel. They have this thing called the Edit Collection, which is their very fancy hotels, and you get a $250 credit twice a year. So I'm using that. And then the rest of it I used with my points because there was a points boost deal. And let me just tell you, I love that points boost. You can get 1.5, 1.6, sometimes 2x points value on specific hotels. So we are staying at a very cool hotel in the middle of downtown Amsterdam, but I don't know a whole lot about what I'm going to experience. I've never spent time in Amsterdam. From what I can tell, most people speak English. I do not speak Dutch, but it looks like it's going to be a very fun time. I'm going to tell you the one thing that we have booked outside of we've got the hotel and we've booked a couple of restaurants for potential dinners. When I started researching Amsterdam at Christmas time, Christmas markets came up, even though that's traditionally more something you'd see in the German countries, but they do have them. They're a little less denominational, but they do have them in Amsterdam. But another thing that I saw was the Amsterdam Canal Light Festival. What is it called? Amsterdam Light Festival 2025. So from November 27th through January 18th, Amsterdam does their light festival, where there are all kinds of different Christmas light things put together all throughout the city. And the best way to experience the Amsterdam Light Festival is on a canal boat. So I did my research. I booked a ticket for this the other night. There's a whole bunch of different companies that do this, but we're going to be in an open canal boat that has heated seats and serves unlimited snacks and glühwein. And we are going to, or hot cocoa. We might want a hot cocoa in between the glühwein. I've never had glühwein. We'll see how much I enjoy it. But for an hour and a half, You go around in this canal boat and you're going to see all these beautiful displays of Christmas lights. Now that sounds pretty darn magical. And I am super psyched about it. I have been looking up videos. You know, this is one of the things that we do now that we know where we're going. Almost every night, instead of watching our typical garbage reality TV, we are going on YouTube and searching for all kinds of videos of different people that have traveled to Amsterdam. A lot of Europeans, because if you're European, you could just travel everywhere all the time. It sounds pretty cool. And a lot of the food scene and kind of what the thing is they eat there, stroopwafels. It's close to Belgium, so of course they've got Belgian fries, but I'm super excited about the street food scene, especially at these Christmas markets. It looks like there's just so many fun places to walk around, but outside of that, I don't really know what to expect. So we'll see if we get any calls on this. I would love some advice. If you have ever been to Amsterdam, you've ever been to the Netherlands, tell me what's fun. Tell me what you did. Tell me something that I should try to look out for, something I should try to enjoy. I'm opening up the phones right now, and I am getting all excited for my big European vacation, leg 2, Amsterdam. So if you want to give me a recommendation for things to do, museums to see, districts to visit, food to try, drinks to have in Amsterdam, give me a call. The phone number is 800-222-5222. 1-800-222-5222. If you've ever been to Amsterdam, tell me what to look out for. Maybe you got, a horror story about Amsterdam. Maybe you loved it. But if you've ever been to Amsterdam and you want to call in and share your story, tell me what you have done in the Netherlands, in Amsterdam, give me a call. 800-222-5222. 1-800-222-5222. I love getting these travel suggestions. There's a lot of people listening that have been to a lot more countries than I have. I have been to the United States, Costa Rica, Mexico, end of list, because Puerto Rico is the United States. So this is my first time in Europe, and I've never been to Amsterdam. So if you've been to Amsterdam, tell me all about it. I'd love to hear from you. Give us a call. We're enjoying ourselves as I'm amping up for my big holiday vacation. 800-222-5222. 1-800-222-5222. Your calls coming up next. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on Talk Radio 790 KABC. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on Talk Radio 790 KABC. Okay, let me see if I can do this. Het is het Nieuwsblitz met Randy Wang op Pratradio 790 KABC. How'd I do?
Het is het Nieuwsblitz met Randy Wang op Praatradio 790 KABC.
Okay, I don't know how to pronounce numbers in Dutch, but I think I'm getting there. I'm going to Amsterdam. It's one of the legs of my big European trip, the first time I've ever been in Europe. If you've ever been to Amsterdam and you want something that you want to recommend to me, whether it's a place to go, something to eat, something to drink, give me a call. 800-222-5222, 1-800-222-5222. You people listening have traveled a lot more than I have, so I'd love to hear from you if you've ever been to Amsterdam. Let's go to Stephen in LA. Stephen, hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Doing great.
You got to go to the Van Gogh Museum. Even if you like Van Gogh, it's awesome. If you don't like Van Gogh, it's awesome. Just because that's the guy. That's the artist that wasn't appreciated in his life and then became appreciated after he died. You got to go to the flower markets. You got to go to the restaurants, the clubs. There's a club in Amsterdam that has 3 floors playing multi-type music, like techno on one, rock on another. It's so much. You got to go to the restaurants where things are legal, allegedly.
It's so funny. I'm going to Amsterdam after I've stopped doing all that kind of stuff, but we'll see what happens. I'm definitely going to be drinking there, but I don't know if I can convince my wife to go to the clubs. But I do love me some techno. Maybe I'll sneak out and check that out. That sounds like a really good time. And the Van Gogh Museum is on our list. I think we're definitely going to have to do that.
And there's that light district that's pretty cool as well, but that's maybe not on your list.
I think we're going to go people watch. We're going to, I think, might as it's close to where we're going to be. We want to walk everywhere. We want to see everything. I think it's also a lot safer than it used to be.
Exactly. It's like when I went, it was over the millennium, and we weren't sure if we were going to have a world with Y2K, but it was amazing. They were lighting off M80s all tied together in the street, but it sounded like a war zone. And then you'd meet people by like they had a Heineken bottle, you had a Heineken bottle, you were like one Heineken nation.
I love it. Well, I'm going to take those suggestions to heart, and thank you so much for bringing them here because I'm getting really excited about this trip. Steven, thanks so much for the call, buddy.
You got it, Randy. Have a great one.
Thank you. 800-222-5222 is the telephone number, 1-800-222-5222. I've got a call out to all you world travelers right now. One of the legs of my big European vacation coming up is I'm going to be going to Amsterdam. I've never been to Amsterdam. I've never been to the Netherlands. I obviously don't speak Dutch. I know nothing. So tell me what to see there. Is it museums? Is it the food? Is it the drinks? The one thing we have booked is a canal cruise to see all the Christmas lights, and I'm super excited about that. But if you've ever been to Amsterdam, heck, maybe you're from Amsterdam. We got a big international audience. Give us a call. 800-222-5222, 1-800-222-5222. I'd love to hear fun things to do in Amsterdam. I don't think I'm going to go to the Anne Frank house. 800-222-5222, 1-800-222-5222. If you're on hold, stay right there. We're going right to your calls. Next, it's the News Blitz. Wait, no, I got to do it. Het is Nieuwsblitz met Randy Wang on Praat Radio 790 KABC. It is the News Blitz with Randy Wang on Talk Radio 790 KABC. We're here every single day talking about the local issues that matter to you most, but it's Friday and we're enjoying ourselves, and I'm about to have braised short rib, and I can't stop thinking about my big European vacation. The first leg of my trip, I will be going to Ireland and spending 3 days in Dublin. The second leg of my trip, I will be spending 3 days in the heart of Amsterdam. So if you've ever traveled to the Netherlands, if you've ever been to Amsterdam, and you have some recommendations for me, because I know nothing, I don't know what to expect outside of the canal cruise that I booked to see all the Christmas lights. 800-222-5222, 1-800-222-5222. Let's go to Zara in Redondo Beach. Zara, hello.
How long are you going to be gone? And who's filling in for you? I'm just finding out about this, and I know you need a vacation, but wow.
Well, it'll be over the Christmas holidays, and it'll just be best of the News Blitz that you'll hear. I have procured some of the best shows that we've done all year, and you will get to hear them on the holidays.
Well, what about Doug McIntyre? Is he going to do anything?
He's retired. He doesn't want to do anything except play old man softball.
Oh, I heard him recently when they were putting up the what do you call it, the LA Clippers. He was on a radio station, but that was my first encounter with talk radio. Dougie Boy is my boy, and you're my second boy. And I don't know. You're my 5
I appreciate that. Doug's really important to me. Doug taught me to care about what was going on in the news. I already was in radio and I knew how to do comedy, but he taught me how to really pay attention to the news and really think, and was a great inspiration to me. So nothing but love for Mr. McIntyre.
Yeah, well, you and your family have a blessed blessed holiday and a safe one. And I'm going to miss you.
Well, I'll be back soon enough, and you won't even know that I'm gone because the best of sound fairly fresh. So thank you so much for the call, Zara. Happy holidays. Okay, let's try another one here.
Ik wil graag een glas glühwein.
Ich will graag een glas glühwein. I would like a glass of mulled wine. See, I'm already becoming a local. I'm starting to look up all of these lists because, of course, when I travel to another country, I'm all about the food. That's part of being me I love traveling to other states and trying their food. I'm obviously the biggest fan of Santa Fe that's ever existed. But what am I going to enjoy in Amsterdam? Obviously, Gouda. I get to have smoked Dutch cheese, so I'm going to enjoy that. But what else we got? Stroopwafels. That sure sounds good to me. And apparently bagels are a big deal in Amsterdam. Who knew? I didn't know. Bitterballen. Okay, I don't even know what that is. What is a bitterballen? Now I'm going to have to Google that. I'm looking at this list from a Dutch website of all the best foods. But yeah, what is bitterballen? Bitterballen, because it sure sounds good to me. Bitterballen is a Dutch-based meat snack. Well, I love a meat snack. It is a thick, savory beef or veal ragu rolled into balls, breaded and deep fried. It's a deep fried meatball? Yes, please. Oh, I am excited. Slagroom truffles. Okay, for the chocolate lovers out there. What I have heard is I've got to try a herring sandwich, which I like fish, so we'll see what that's like. But I've heard authentic Dutch fries. Since you're so close to Belgium, the fries are something you really got to enjoy there. And, I like fries and mayonnaise, so I think I'm going to be right at home. 800-222-5222 is the telephone number. Let's go to Stuart in Seal Beach. Stuart, hello.
Hello, Randy. Thank you for taking my call. I think what I remember of being in Amsterdam is how great the Indonesian cuisine is. They have something, it's called the Riestafel, which is a feast of Indonesian food with lots of different dishes. You'll see that there's multiple places to go. The second thing is the castles are tremendous in all of Holland, but there's quite a bit that you can see. And also the apple pie is wonderful, Dutch apple pie. The Dutch cuisine, if you like herring, is good, but not a lot of people sign up for that.
Well, the Dutch apple pie, that's right up my alley. And I am very excited, more than almost anything, about the architecture. I'm born and raised in Los Angeles, so I've never been anywhere where the buildings have so much history. I mean, I've spent time in New Mexico, and there are some very old buildings there. I've spent time in Puerto Rico, and there's some very old buildings there. But nothing's got to compare to being in Europe.
Yeah, I think if you do the canal tour, you will see some beautiful architecture along the canal tours. But throughout the countryside, there are some beautiful castles that really are amazing. It doesn't get the publicity that maybe castles in Germany get, but they are very beautiful. And if you could be there in the spring, you'd see incredible landscaping also. They love their parks. They love their windsurfing. They love their tulips. And it is a beautiful place. And they are some of the friendliest people you'll ever meet.
I have definitely heard that, and that's another thing that I am excited about. And one of the reasons why I'm leaving a lot of this trip kind of open-ended, I feel like we're going to make friends, and they're going to tell us all kinds of things to do because we're pretty friendly people. But I'm super psyched about it. The castles, and apparently I got to look into the Indonesian food. It's always interesting, like the immigrant culture in other countries. So the Indonesian food is something I'm going to have to look out for. Stuart, thank you so much for the call, buddy.
Thank you. Take care.
Thank you. I'm going to Amsterdam in a couple weeks, and I've never been to Europe. It is the second leg of my European tour. I'll be going to Dublin, Then I'm going to Amsterdam. Next week, I'll reveal to you the third leg of my trip, but I'm going to keep it a secret for right now. 800-222-5222 is the telephone number, 1-800-222-5222. If you've ever been to Amsterdam, I'd love to hear some recommendations on things to do, things to see, food to eat, drinks to have. 800-222-5222. 1-800-222-5222. Get on the line right now if you've ever spent time in Amsterdam. I gots to know. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on Talk Radio 790 KABC. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on KABC. Okay, let's try another one here.
Waar zijn de kerstmarkten?
Waar zijn de kerstmarken? Where are the Christmas markets? I'm going to Amsterdam. Let's go to JT in LA. JT, hello.
How are you?
Doing great.
Hello? I'm JP, not JT.
Oh, excuse me. It said JT. Let me try this again. JP in LA. JP, hello.
Right. Hello. So what do you want to know about Ireland?
Well, I'll be in Dublin for 3 days. Is there any specific spots you recommend to check out?
In Dublin?
Yes.
Why don't you get out of Dublin?
Okay, what should I do
places.
outside of Dublin? That's where we're flying into.
Well,
I know nothing.
You know nothing about Ireland?
I know that it's green.
It's like, first thing you'll notice when you fly into Ireland is how green it is. You know, when you look down out of the plane, you'll be shocked at how green it is, you know? But when you get to Dublin, like, Dublin's a great city, but, you know, you can go outside of Dublin and experience that. But you seem to be most interested in food.
I am very interested in food. This is true.
Well, what kind of food do you like? Beef? Or
I love beef.
You know, well, you can get all kinds of really good food, you know, like, and dumplings and bread and all that kind of thing, soda bread, blood sausage, slow roasted shoulder of lamb, roast goose with apple stuffing and cider gravy, all kinds of things. It's difficult
That just
to say,
sounds
but,
incredible.
you know,
Also, I'm really excited about going to different pubs and seeing a lot of live music.
yeah, well, this is kind of pub. Irish food is sort of pub food, you know, pies and potatoes, but very, very, very much more complex than people think it is. You know, like honeyed parsnips. You know,
Oh, that sounds delicious.
buttered kale with chives and lemon, red cabbage with mushrooms, nuts and bacon, boxty bread, oat crackers, and so on. There's a whole plethora or multitude of food in Ireland. And if you get out into the country and find a good place, you can go to a good Irish restaurant and enjoy it, by the sea preferably. Then you get fresh fish. You can go to Rush.
I do love me
or
some fresh
Galway
fish.
Bay and go fishing for lobster. I used to go fishing for lobster, and then I'd run up to the pub and they'd stick it in a pot of boiling water, and the lobster would scream, and they would put vinegar on it, and then eat it and drink Guinness. And that's what you need to experience.
That sounds like an
it's a beautiful
incredible
country.
experience right there. JT, thank you so much for the call, bud. JP, excuse me. Thanks so much for the call. Appreciate it. Okay, I got something exciting to give away. Are you ready? Get those dialing fingers ready. 790 KABC welcomes Weird Al Yankovic, the Bigger and Weirder 2026 tour at the Acrisure Arena, September 13th, 2026. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com, but right now, caller number 9 at 1-888-795-2222 gets a pair of tickets to the show. Tickets furnished by Live Nation. Good luck dialing. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on Talk Radio 790 KABC. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on KABC. Before I get out of here, I've got to tell you about a credit card hack that we exploited when we were in New Mexico. As I'm sure you are aware, I try to make sure that we are maximizing the value of our cards, because otherwise those annual fees are just money down the toilet. So a few months ago, my wife and I were in Santa Fe, and We went to this restaurant, The Compound. We went there for lunch because they have this really cool old school step down bar where the bartender's kind of like below you, and they have these beautiful seats, and they have good margaritas, and they're famous for their onion rings. And I had found out on a previous trip they make gluten-free onion rings. So we go, we get the gluten-free onion rings. It was a massive portion. My wife gets this incredible stacked chopped salad, just unbelievable, with gluten-free chicken tenders. And I got the schnitzel, and it was fabulous. So anyway, we had this meal, and I paid for it like I'd paid for most of my meals at that point with my Amex Gold card, because you get 4x points on restaurants. So a couple of days later, I noticed on my statement that I got $50 off of that meal because my Amex Gold card has a semi-annual $50 Resi credit. Resi is like OpenTable. It's a reservation app. And the thing that's funny about Santa Fe is there's only like 3 restaurants in the entire city that are on Resi. And one of them was The Compound. So even though we didn't book a reservation through Resi, because it is a Resi restaurant, I got $50 off. So that's when I was like, okay, well, I have the Amex Gold. My wife has the Amex Platinum. So what does she get? She gets $200 Resi credits throughout the year. So we started planning our attack because if we're going for lunch, we only need 1 round of cocktails. We had way too much food last time. And I'm not getting the schnitzel. That was way too much food. It is really tough to eat that thing on your own. So we started devising, hey, what if we go there for lunch and we exactly spend, with tip, $100? It's going to be a free meal. So we went to The Compound the week of Thanksgiving. And we sat down at the bar right when they opened. We were the only ones in there, felt like the cool kids. We each had 1 El Poblanito margarita, which is their mezcal margarita. It's fabulous. We split we split their twice-baked potato soup, which was fabulous and beautiful. And there's videos of this on my social media at Randy Wang Radio. And then we split a half order of the gluten-free onion rings, and we split that beautiful stacked salad. So we had soup, we had salad, which had the gluten-free chicken tenders, we had onion rings, and we had 2 cocktails. And the bill totaled out to about $90. The service was great, so we tipped $20 on that. And that meant that we got that entire meal, 2 fancy margaritas, some of the best onion rings you'll ever have, the really fancy soup that's poured out of a ladle, the incredibly finely chopped salad with the gluten-free tenders, all of that after the $100 Resi credit, including tip, cost us $10. It was a $10 lunch. So anyway, if you have an Amex Platinum or an Amex Gold, make sure you use up that credit because those things expire at the end of the year. You're sitting on a free $100 meal. Just look up what restaurants are on Resi and go to one. There's plenty in LA. Thank you all so much. Have a great weekend. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on KABC.